A bird that hasn't been seen in 55 years was just photographed in Papua New Guinea. What's up, everybody? We have some crazy bird news that has just come through. Like I mentioned in the intro, this bird hasn't been seen in 55 years, meaning that it has been lost to science for 55 years. The last time this bird had a decent logging or recording of the species was all the way back in 1969. That is the year that the United States landed on the moon. It's also the year that my father was born. Sorry for aging you like that, Dad. But anyways, what is this species and what does this mean for conservation and for science? The crazy thing about this is that the bird has never been photographed before, ever. Like ever. And the species of bird is the New Britain Goshawk. Now, how did this happen? How was this bird photographed finally? How was it rediscovered after being lost for so long? Well, a man named Tom Vieras, a Fiji-based photographer, was on an expedition in Papua New Guinea on the island of New Britain. And he was with 3 members of the local community, basically photographing anything and everything he could possibly find. One of the birds that he ended up photographing, he said, was from a long distance and was difficult to get photos of. In photographing the bird, Tom Vieras says that he photographed several bird species, but he did not understand the significance of the bird at the time. And honestly, can you blame him? If I was in a new place, he's from Fiji, if I was in a new place like Papua New Guinea and I was just taking pictures of stuff, I'd be leaving the identification till later, just like he did. But he ended up putting it up on iNaturalist anyways. If you don't know, iNaturalist is a database where anybody can upload photos of birds, plants, bugs, mammals, anything, and it'll go into a database and other people can help identify it if you're not sure what it is. So he decided to upload this accipiter that he was seeing up in the trees from a large distance. And he's super happy that he did, because it turns out that it's the first time that a New Britain goshawk has ever been photographed in history. And I mean, that's an amazing experience to have, to come home, upload this bird to iNaturalist, and then realize, oh my goodness gracious, I just took the first ever photograph of a bird that's been missing to science for 55 years. Like, mind absolutely blown. That's incredible. The director for the search of lost birds at the American Bird Conservancy, named John Mittermeier, has confirmed that this is not only the first photo of the bird, but it is the bird that has been lost to science for 55 years. Now, they talked with local residents about this as well, just wanting to see, is this a bird that people see very often? And it turns out that the bird isn't something they see very often. It is still a rare bird for them to see, but they do have sightings of it every once in a while. In their local language, they call it the Kiongo or the Kulingapa as well. So that's pretty cool to know that this isn't just a standalone bird out in the wild. It is a bird that exists and is out there. We've just never gotten it on camera before until now. Now, what does this mean for conservation? Local communities and government authorities are working together to bring more conservation efforts to the area to help preserve the New Britain goshawk. This is amazing news, as when you don't have a bird sighting in a long time, sometimes it's really easy for corporations and things to sneak into the area and try to influence local politics and kind of take down some of those conservation measures that have already been put in place. But rediscovering a bird that's been lost for science for so long is a quite amazing way to help accelerate conservation efforts in the area. Another amazing thing for conservation is the National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan is coming up in October 2024, in less than a month. And this gives Papua New Guinea a chance to revise their conservation strategies and pitch this amazing rediscovered creature to this council to help with conservation efforts as well. So the timing could not be better in that regard. Now, this isn't the only time that Papua New Guinea has rediscovered a bird that was thought to be lost to science. A couple years ago, Papua New Guinea found another extinct bird, but this one was missing for 155 years. This was the black-naped pheasant pigeon that they finally caught on trail cams just a couple years ago. So what is going on in Papua New Guinea to be able to find several species lost to science in just a short amount of time? A lot of it has to do with the terrain. It's very difficult for people to explore this area of the world. Papua New Guinea is not known for being very accessible and easy to traverse. This means that there's a lot of species in there that could be lost to science that could still be out there as well, including species that may or may not be extinct. They could just be in very remote areas of Papua New Guinea. Now, what does this mean for you as maybe an amateur birder or a photographer or whatever it is? It means take pictures of stuff and upload it. You never know if you're going to find something that's been lost to science or find a bird that's never visited a certain area of the world either. It's pretty amazing that people can go out on these expeditions and find something that hasn't been photographed ever in our history, still to this day. Big shout out to Tom Vieira for getting this bird on camera. That's absolutely amazing, and I cannot believe that this bird has been found after such a long period of time. There's two things I want to take away from this story and this experience. Number one, we need to protect and conserve the birds that we know are still out there. That's so important. We cannot lose more bird species. We're losing birds every single year at this point. And number two, we need to have hope and still search for the birds that we believe are lost, because we could have a Tom Vieira experience where we're rediscovering birds lost to science for decades at a time. Who knows? Maybe some other birds that have been lost to science for a while might still be out there. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this rediscovery of this amazing species? If you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links to the merch and my new membership program are in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding.